Picture this. You're 45 years old. You've just signed the final check to pay off your mortgage. You lean back, take a deep breath, and feel the weight of a lifetime of financial slavery finally lifting from your shoulders. Tonight, you'll sleep soundly, knowing that the house you're in is 100% yours. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but that feeling of peace is just the calm before a financial storm. While you're basking in the glow of so-called freedom, inflation is silently eating away at your single biggest asset, and the bank is smiling at the generous gift you just gave them. So you haven't become the master of your castle. You've become a prisoner of your own frozen capital. You're sitting on a pile of gold, but you don't have enough cash to buy a loaf of bread. This is the liquidity trap, the self-made prison for everyone who worships the idea of a debt-free home. Let's play out a grim but very real scenario. 6 months after you've made that final mortgage payment, the economy takes a nosedive. Your company starts laying people off and your name is on the list. Now you've got a beautiful paid-off house worth $1 million. Fantastic, right? Except the electricity bill is still due, your stomach is growling, and your car's transmission just decided to give up. So, you walk into the bank, confident, ready to take out a new mortgage on your fully paid-off home. And what do they tell you? Sorry you don't have a job? We can't approve you for a loan. The irony is staggering. You own 100% of the equity in your home, but it's dead equity. You're like a billionaire stranded on a deserted island, surrounded by treasure chests, but with no fresh water to drink. The root of this problem is a fundamental misunderstanding that the middle class has about risk. We're taught that the biggest risk is being in debt. But in the real world, the true financial risk is not having access to cash. Think about it. Someone with an 80% mortgage on their home, but $200,000 in a stock account, is infinitely safer than someone with a debt-free house and an empty bank account. Why would you willingly volunteer to be a philanthropist for the big banks? When you pour every spare dollar into paying down a mortgage with a 3% or 4% interest rate, you're essentially making a fixed-rate investment that earns you exactly 3% or 4%. Congratulations, you have just formally rejected the opportunity to profit. From the massive spreads in the financial market, a market where the S&P 500 has averaged a 10% annual return for the last century, you need to open your eyes and see how Wall Street really works. The banks get rich by borrowing money from the savings accounts of fearful people just like you, paying them maybe 0.5% in interest. Then they turn around and lend that same money back to you as a mortgage, charging you 6%. They live and breathe on that spread. But when you hold on to your low-interest mortgage and invest your extra cash instead, you're performing a brilliant financial judo move. You are borrowing money from the bank at rock-bottom rates to earn much higher returns from the growth of the global economy. You are flipping the script and using the bank's own model against them. Let's make it simple. Say you have an extra $100,000. The good student choice is to pay down your 4% mortgage. You save $4,000 in interest that year. Great. But the dominant wealth-building choice is to invest that $100,000 in the market. It's aiming for that average 10% return. You'd pocket $10,000. That's a $6,000 difference in a single year. Now, let that play out over 30 years. Thanks to the magic of compound interest, the decision to hold on to debt will make you millions of dollars richer. By rushing to pay off your mortgage, you are essentially firing the hardest-working employee on your financial team. Leverage. If you're paying an incredibly expensive fear tax, you're not buying freedom. You're buying a certificate of financial naivety, framed in brick and mortar. Now let's talk about the secret best friend of the borrower. Inflation. Inflation is the #1 enemy of the saver, but it is the secret lover of the smart debtor. When you sign a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, you are locking in a bet where the odds are overwhelmingly in your favor as long as you don't get impatient and pay it off early. Imagine today in 2025, your monthly mortgage payment is $2,000. Now fast forward 20 years to 2045. After 2 decades of normal inflation, that $2,000 might only have the purchasing power of $800 in today's money. You are literally paying back your debt with the cheaper, devalued currency of the future. When you scramble to pay off that debt today, you are running to the bank and shouting, "Here, take my most valuable, most expensive dollars right now." The bank looks at you like you're a walking, talking charity. Why on earth would you rush to repay a loan whose real value is being eroded by government money printing every single day? The smart move is to stretch that debt out for as long as possible and let inflation do the heavy lifting for you,
Oh.
burning away the real value of what you owe. Here's another secret from the world of the truly wealthy. Owning a home free and clear isn't a badge of honor. It's a giant liability. When you own $1 million home with zero debt, you've painted a massive target on your back. Any lawyer in a lawsuit can see that pile of clean equity, and it's incredibly easy for them to seize it. Now, consider the savvy investor. They also own $1 million home, but they have an $800,000 mortgage on it. In the eyes of the law, the bank is the primary owner. No lawyer is excited about suing someone whose main asset is already pledged to a massive financial institution. In this context, debt isn't a burden. It's a smokescreen. It's a protective shield. You get to control and live in the house, but you've cleverly shifted the ownership risk to the bank. Paying off your mortgage early is like marching into battle and voluntarily taking off your armor. We tell ourselves a comforting lie. Once the mortgage is gone, I'll finally start investing. But the reality is, once that financial pressure is off, our discipline often disappears with it. That extra money gets absorbed by lifestyle inflation, nicer vacations, new cars, expensive dinners. A manageable mortgage forces a certain level of financial discipline, keeps you living below your means and focused on maintaining positive cash flow. Let's look at the tale of two people 30 years from now. The first person worked diligently to pay off their mortgage. They now own their $800,000 house outright, but their investment account is at zero. The second person kept their mortgage for the full term. They also own their $800,000 house. Because they invested their extra cash every month, they also have a $2 million investment portfolio. That is the true price of peace of mind. A debt-free house is just a plastic trophy. A powerful investment portfolio, and absolute liquidity, that's the real army that will protect your financial future. It's about optimizing your wealth so that nothing, not even a job loss or an economic crash, can keep you up at night. So I have to ask you, which do you choose? The illusion of security or the reality of true wealth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more financial truths they don't want you to know. Thanks for watching.